Hi, I'm Sig Johnson, Senior Pastor at Christ of the Hills United Methodist Church in Hot Springs Village.
And I'm Sheila Jones, one of the Associate Pastors here at Christ of the Hills. And we want to talk a little bit today about opening up our church for in-person worship on July the 12th.
And you can tell we're socially distancing right now with one pew between us. Now this Sunday, July the 5th, will be our last time to come to you with a Holy Communion service that is all here in the sanctuary just with our worship team, and no in-person worship this Sunday. But you will be able, like last month, to receive Holy Communion either in your homes there after the service or by driving through. The pastors will be here from 10:45 to 12 o'clock this Sunday, July the 5th, and we'll be offering the elements in a drive-through fashion like we did last week. Now the following Sunday then is July the 12th, and we are going to be following the CDC guidelines, the guidelines given to us by Governor Hutchinson, as well as Bishop Muller and the Arkansas Conference. We're going to be limiting each of our worship services to 50 worshipers. So we will have to require pre-registration. And that pre-registration will begin Monday, July the 6th. The office will be here from 8 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're welcome to call. Our telephone number here is 922-4503, and that will be to register your attendance for one of 3 worship services, and that will be at 8:30 here in the sanctuary, or at 9:45 here in the sanctuary. And by the way, each of the worship services will only be 30, maybe 35 minutes long, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But we will have an 8:30 and a 9:45 worship service here. For those who would prefer contemporary worship, non-traditional worship, the gathering service will meet at 9:45. And for any of those 3 services, we'll need you to register ahead of time. And if we need, then we will be able to add an 11 o'clock service if we have more registering than we have room for in those 2 services. You want to talk about how people arrive?
Right. Well, when you get here, we're going to ask you to come to the area at the front where the portico is, and if you need to drop someone off, that will be great, and they need to stand outside to wait for you to park your car. But you're going to come in that entrance, and then we will have a person there that has our registration list, and you will need to come in and make sure that your name gets marked off on that registration list. You must wear a mask. If you do not have a mask, one will be provided for you, and you have to wear it the whole time that you're here in the building. There will be a greeter to put you in the pews. They'll start seating people from the front to the back, like we are kind of in the alternate pews. And then after the service is over, they will release you from the back to the front, and you'll have to go out the same door that you came in. The people that will come for the second service will need to wait in their cars until all of the people from the first service have been dismissed, and then they will go through the same process of coming in and entering the building and being seated.
The sermon will have to go really long if they're going to have to wait in the cars much, because as I said, it's just going to be a 30 to 35 minute worship service. We won't be singing hymns here. As Sheila said, we will all be wearing masks, including those in the worship team. Sheila and I thought about wearing a mask here and pulling it down to give you a good example. We're not a real good example today, but we will all be wearing masks, even the worship team, except when we stand up to talk or to sing. And so we will be at the 8:30 service. Oh, and by the way, let me mention at 9:45 then we'll have 2 separate services, because the gathering folk can park on the east parking lot, the upper parking lot, and then come in and exit from that part of our building on the west. And then on the east side, of course, the sanctuary worshipers will park, enter, and exit. Hopefully we'll have the service finished in plenty of time, so those coming for the 9:45 service will not have to wait in their cars for long. But that is a rule that we've been asked to follow. What other rules are there? We're going to be at 8:30 seating people on this. We're sitting on the west side of the sanctuary. We're going to divide the sanctuary in half. And ushers, by the way, you will not be able to sit in your favorite pew that you've been sitting in all of your lives, I know, but you will not be able to do that. Ushers will seat you on at the 8:30 service on the west side, every other pew, the odd-numbered pews, 1, 3, 5, 7, etc. We'll have to separate, except for family units, of course, by at least 6 feet in between. And then at the 9:45 service, we'll do the same thing on this side of the building.
One of the other things that I want to mention with registration, you will have to register every week. You can't just register one time and say, this is my slot. Every week we will have to do that, because we will have people from time to time decide, oh, I think I want to change the time I come, or maybe I don't want to come this week, or whatever. So every week you will need to register.
Right. Oh, and Sheila, let me sing a hymn. Well, there's no hymnal here. And the reason is because everything we appreciate our church mice so much. This morning they removed everything from in the pews so that there'll be nothing that we'll be handling. There won't be an offering plate passed. Obviously, we're not going to have food and coffee and the fellowship that our church is so famous for in between our services and we love so much. We can't do that yet. Nothing here to touch, no hymnals, no offering plates that will be passed. Even when we come to Holy Communion, we're going to find a way to do that safely in a sanitized way. And so things will look different, they'll be different, but it's going to be so exciting to have you back here where we're not just standing up there looking at empty pews. We want to see you. Oh, and one thing that's very, very important. We live in Hot Springs Village, and this is by and large a gated retirement community. And so the average age of our people is such that most of us, including me, are in the higher vulnerability category of age of 65 plus. And then there are others that struggle with underlying illnesses that we all know, because we follow the news, make people more susceptible and make the coronavirus a more serious thing in their lives. And so we encourage you, even though we are starting worship on July the 12th, do remember this: we will continue to be online. The worship service will be online. And so we encourage you, if you are uncomfortable in any way in coming and being around us as we worship, please stay home and continue to worship as you have in these past 3 months. I think that's important to mention. Right. Anything else?
Absolutely. We didn't talk a lot about what the gathering service will do, but they will have similar situations as far as greeting and ushers bringing people into the building, that sort of thing. They will have to wear masks just like we do in the sanctuary. So everybody that comes into the building will follow the same safety precautions.
All right. And that's the way it begins on July the 12th. And we have missed you so much. We pray for you, we love you, and we're very excited to come back together. But then again, if you can't come to worship yet, know that we are here, we're available for you. Call us if you need us, and we would love to minister to you. And we certainly want to continue to come to you with these videos and opportunities to minister that aren't face-to-face. Thank you for joining us for this little video. I hope it helps you in understanding what we're going to do on July the 12th.